Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting and family and good communication, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about teaching children to cherish home and family. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is going on with the dialogue about family in culture nowadays and why it's so controversial. And then we're going to be talking about how that impacts our children and what we should be doing to help our children learn to cherish their homes and their families, because after all, it is better for them. Home and family are the most healing, foundational, nurturing environments. They create identity, they create a feeling of belonging, inclusion, love, all the things. Those come the very most out of the home and the family. So why in the world would our society create a movement that is designed to push children away from their families, to actually make them think that having a family or being part of a family is not a good thing? What a weird concept. But it's not just children that are perpetuating this, it's adults. So I consult at the United Nations, and as part of that post to consult there, I hear some crazy things sometimes. Well, a good friend of mine was in a meeting a number of years ago, and so this was a while ago, okay? At the United Nations in New York, she was in a meeting, and someone said the word family. And when they mentioned the word family, everyone was so offended that was in that room. They felt like that was a swear word to say the word family. Well, I thought, surely she must be making this up. But then I was at the United Nations a few years after that, and sure enough, you mention family and people look at you like you just called them some four-letter derogatory word. It's that offensive to them. Why? Well, because they don't want one, I guess. Because maybe they had one that was not functional, didn't give them that sense of belonging, wasn't healing, wasn't good for them. Maybe there was someone in their family that didn't agree with one thing about their life, or maybe they didn't like that their family loved God and they didn't want to love God, or, I don't know. You never know exactly what everyone's backstory is. But what I do know is that there is a whole generation of people that are being trained to not trust and love their families. The media right now gives family a really bad rap. It's very rare to see a program in the media that presents family in a positive light. Usually family is presented in the media as getting in the way of the child, or being out of touch with society, or not being supportive of what the child wants because maybe they're telling the child no for something, or maybe they seem like they're clueless or buffoons even, or that they're trying to push these archaic values that really have no meaning or that nobody cares about in society nowadays, like honesty and love and caring, but instead they want to care about other things that just relate to the self and what the self gets out of something. So it's interesting, this selfishness, this focus on self has turned the focus away from family, which has then turned the focus of the children away from duty, away from loyalty, away from belonging. Now they're islands unto themselves. This is very concerning. Does it concern you? Recently, I was just talking with a friend of mine, and she said that it's concerning to her as a young person who's just getting ready to graduate high school that many of her peers have a negative view of family. In fact, they feel like that if you look at something through the family lens, that somehow this is non-friendly conversation, that this is conversation that is somehow pushing against their morals, which are all about the self. So what do we do about it? How do we create an environment and a society where our children will cherish home and family again? And is it even possible? The answer is yes, but the how-to you're going to have to wait just a couple of seconds for, because I need to tell you to hit that subscribe button now. So click subscribe so you can see more videos just like this. So yes, it is possible for children to cherish home and family. My baby just last year graduated from high school, and he is out serving a mission for our church. He's in Arkansas right now in the United States and doing a lot of great service work for people there. And you know what? He loves us and he misses us so much. And he's told me multiple times, Mom, when I meet people who have sad home lives and sad families, and families that don't really support them, or they've gotten into drugs or all these other things that he's helping people through with their hardships. He says, Mom, I'm just so happy about our family. I'm so grateful for what family is for me. In fact, I'm trying to tell people about the importance of family and building good, strong families, but they don't necessarily care because they don't even think it's possible. That's wisdom from an 18-year-old boy. Well, actually, he told me that when he was 18. He's 19 now. Love you, Porter. Love you, love you. Mwah, from Mom. Anyway, so how do we create this environment? What did I do? Well, it started out by loving family. Did you know that the tone that a parent has related to family will spill over into the tone that a child adopts? I love family. It was everything for me, for my husband too. Our happiest times, our greatest moments were spent with our children, not by ourselves, not going on trips by ourselves. We always wanted to take the children with us. Life was fun and engaging and exciting. We had deliberate conversations. We didn't feel burdened by correcting our children's little problems. In fact, they could tell that we enjoyed correcting the problems and we didn't take them personally. We knew that home was a safe place to make mistakes, and we taught them how we would correct them every single time so that they didn't have to have anxiety about us feeling emotional or taking their mistakes personally. No, we embraced it all. The tone of embracing family life instead of pushing against it or wishing it were something else is actually a powerful move that a parent can make to teach their children that they want what they have being parents of a family. Have you noticed that children don't want to have children now? That they are not wanting to get married and have families? This is becoming more and more common. It's so sad because they will be missing out on all of those relationships, connections. They'll be missing out on training other people, on having the love from a child that you cannot get anywhere else. Why would they think that that is a pathway to success? It could be because their parents had a bad attitude. It could be because their parents told them how much they hated what they did all the time. Or they told their friends how much they hated it and the children overheard. Or it could be that somebody else got in the door with the child and started convincing them that family was not good. I remember one time when I was at a play in Virginia. Sitting there at this play, I was very pregnant. I'm talking very pregnant with my fourth child, this one that I've been talking about, my sweet Porter, who I wouldn't trade for anything. And there were some college co-eds sitting behind me who obviously noticed how pregnant I was. And do you know what they did? They started commenting to each other on their philosophies about having children and how horrible it is, how irresponsible it is. And then one of them said, anyone who chooses to have a child is mentally disturbed. I thought to myself, what was her childhood like? That poor girl. Did she feel that she wasn't cared about? That her mother didn't like being her mother? How sad that she didn't feel belonging. Or if she did feel belonging and support from her mother, then who was it that told her that having a child is equated to being mentally disturbed? How sad, how concerning. So we can love it, can't we? That's an easy thing that we can do to teach them to cherish and love their home and family. So what else can we do? We can make it so that a lot of teaching happens, a lot of discussion happens, but not a lot of emotional dumping happens. Home is wonderful if it heals you. The other day I was watching a program. It was called Family Matters, and on this program there was a family, And they had teenage children, and these teenage children absolutely loved being with their family. In fact, they said, you know, we don't really go spend a lot of time with other teenage kids because we just love being with family so much. We love being with our siblings. They're our very best friends. We love doing things with our parents. We do activities, we talk with them. And there were these little vignettes about their lives, and you could see them communicating with their parents. Now, this show is not on one of our main network programs, right? You have to get the BYU TV app to see it. It's a free app. I highly recommend it. Some awesome programming on BYU TV. These children in this family were very atypical, but I think the parents, in fact, it sounded like the parents deliberately created an environment where their children felt understood, loved, where it was a fun environment, an environment of belonging and caring. Why would the children want anything else? Especially when they go with other people and their friends or other people around them, maybe even people at church, are negative, pessimistic. Why would they even want it? If you want your children to love family, it's got to be a place where everybody loves each other all the time and where they solve their problems in good ways. Now, that's a whole other thing that I could help you with. In fact, I would love to help you with that. If you've enjoyed this video, then you will probably love my next video, which is a full class all about the skills and principles of learning self-government and how to solve some of those problems in calm, connective ways. That video is called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. So click on the link to that video now. I'll see you there.